All right. Well,
No, I'm gonna keep it on.
what is it that you know that has happened?
I've been told that there was a conflict between Dons, specifically Lang and Arush. Something happened. Um, Not sure about the details, but that led to a split. And yeah, and basically the whole crew is split into two. It's extremely vague what I know for sure. I think I was told a little bit more, but I have potentially one of the worst memories, you know, you could think of. So
Hey, it happens to all of us Italians. You know what I mean?
yeah, I truly very bad memory.
It's all good. Now, I mean, I think the information that was given to you and that you recall is on point, more or less. The whole
Hmm.
I guess I'll just explain it from the beginning. Kind of summed up, right? So we were on a job, and things were getting pretty hectic over the radio. You know the way things are, right? Screaming and shit.
Yeah.
Uh, Back and forth between almost everybody on radio, and yeah, things got heated. Lang kind of pushed Arush to a point where Arush reacted in a terrible way, and it's been like that for a long time, like pushing each other's buttons and all that. It's been kind of a build up, and not really being on the same page, I guess. And it grew frustration and amongst everybody, amongst the Dons.
Hmm.
Aru- Arusha ended up hitting Lang, which he shouldn't have done in the middle of a job, and it's just mistakes from everybody's end. I'd say, it was bad. I mean, I was on foot running away from the cops and shit when both of them guys could have helped pick me up. Thankfully, Arush picked me up later. But I mean, like I said, it's been a build-up, right? These things.
Right.
This isn't the first time this happens, and amongst brothers, we tend to fight a lot, and that's just what happens, right? I'm not gonna put the blame on Lang or Arush or anybody. It's just the way things are. But it hit a tipping point. It hit a tipping point after Arush hit Lang. He thought Arush wanted to actually kill him, and it wasn't the case. And uh, I spoke to Lang after that, and the way I kind of spoke to Lang after, like during that, was I was kind of pointing out his mistakes as well, and he got really upset about that. So he just said, "You know what? I'm just gonna pack up. I can't lead with you guys anymore. I'm gonna grab my piece of the pie, and I'm getting out of here." So at that
Mm.
time, we're thinking Lang's just gone. We don't know. There's no word of or mention of like a division north and south. And he grabs his things. I'm trying to tell him, hey, let's talk about it. Cool down a little bit. Let's fucking talk about it. This can't happen. But he set on his decision, and he disappears for a day. He walks up to me, Arush, and Harry, and he says, "We got an offer. I want to put that on the table. I'm going to be moving north of Cypress, above El Rancho. I'm going to take that turf. You guys stay south. We can't lead together, but perhaps we can lead separately." Now, you got to understand the energy there was way different than I'm telling it right now. It was very
Hmm.
threatening. It was either you guys accept these terms, or I will strangle Cypress and watch you guys fall. Lang. He's got a lot of power. He's very persuasive, and he's a good talker. He's got a silver tongue, and he, he's got a
Yeah.
lot of history in this city, and a lot of people he can move. I, I had no doubt in my mind that he could indeed screw us entirely over.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't take that too lightly. I was upset. I was pissed off. The emotions got the better of me. I was angry. Arush was as well. Harry was just kind of like in shock. And well, I end up telling Lang after discussing with the boys that he can f off with that deal. And he ain't taking any part of Cypress because I mean initially we'd agreed that no other gangs, no other crews would move into Cypress. It would just be us, right? It would just we were gonna hold it down, and that's the way it's been for the past 10 months. So yeah, I mean he said, "You sure? You sure that this is the way you guys want to take it? You guys want to see the fall of Cypress?" No, we stood on it, and he left. We didn't shoot him. And prior to that, he had taken some guns. A lot of our guns, more than half of the guns that we already had, and um, his actions at that point, point in time, were well, they hurt, right? We thought he was betraying us to a sense.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's very shocking. Like that's definitely something I was curious about. Is in my mind, like I wasn't there, so I can't judge, but I feel like it could have gone multiple different ways there. Like either you guys like could have, an altercation could have happened, perhaps. Given the way I see it is from the start, and this Luch, from the very start, there was a certain structure, right? You guys were made the Five Dons as a method of, having a majority vote. And, I think to myself, oh, it was just Lang against 3 other Dons, right? It's very rough. I gotta tell you, it's the goof of all time, how God sets the rules in opposition. Lang has probably the strongest leader mentality, but he is bound to self-destruct. History has proven that, time and time again. You, Luciano, you're probably the smartest Don. But sometimes you may lack resolve. Tony has the biggest heart. Everyone respects him, but he has poor ambition. Harry is somehow the most disciplined and yet the shortest temper. It doesn't make any sense. And Arush, I think he has the highest mental fortitude, but he makes rash decisions. It's absolutely crazy how, until this point, things have been kind of smooth with the whole crew and the 5 Dons, and I think somehow it worked. And to see that kind of fall apart here is, yeah, the future is uncertain. And one thing I don't like is uncertainty. I guess something I have different from other people is I actually don't like change. I like comfort. But when change is presented, you gotta stay strong. And I guess that's why I'm still here, otherwise I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Cypress, listen, I care a lot about it, but I reached the point where I stopped caring. I stopped caring for Cypress as a business. Because I fooled myself from the start, I fooled myself from the start. Lang said it himself on day 1, this won't be like 6 years ago. And I absolutely deluded myself. And initially, I thought it would be an evolution of the lean. I've realized for quite some time now that that would never happen, and I accept that. for a moment, things were pretty damn close, if you ask me. Around the time where the Mirror Park house was sold, I think that was the point where I definitely became disconnected. I I like to feel like I have meaning and purpose, right? Little by little, the operation grew. With that, people grew, and there were so many people in the crew at one point that I didn't feel the need to really work. And I know I'm going off track here, but I'm just trying to. I don't know. I guess I'm letting loose, but I miss the start. You know, things were pretty simple, and I guess until this point, things have become so complicated, and tensions have risen, and now this. You know, it's. I can only imagine the stress that you've been through, Luch. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that.
Stress for all of us, brother. Stress not only for me, but for everybody. I mean, people were losing hope,
Yeah.
and I can't blame you for the way you felt over the past months after the Mirror Park house. Shit, even after we sold that Southside house, things changed drastically. We were a small crew at that by then, and we grew, and things just kind of got lost. Look, Octo, I'm never gonna ask you to pick, never gonna ask you to choose anybody over Tony. I understand your bond is beyond. You can't compare it with anything.
Yeah.
All I ask is you give us a chance down here in the South. We're changing the way we operate, the way we do things. I'm not gonna stop you from doing work, hanging out with anybody in the North. You do whatever you want to do. And if there's an opportunity for you to go up north and be up north, I'm not gonna stop you either. And I think that only applies to very few in this crew, if any.
I must say, I know for sure I've been quite privileged with my role, and I really appreciate that. I feel like as a specialist, I couldn't ask for more, right? And in many ways, like I said, I do feel I have no right to complain because I reached the point where I haven't really been putting in that work. I haven't been deeply tied, and yeah, not much to say about that besides, you know, sorry, and I wish I could do better, but there's a lot of factors that you probably know about, right? I don't think you want to hear how I lost my connection with cars in the city, you know.
Yeah.
At this stage, it doesn't matter. And yeah, I think right now, adaptation. Yeah, hopefully, you know, from what you just said, I don't see a reason to pinch myself around. If I can just keep doing what I do, then that's fine with me. I just want to be useful to the Dons, regardless of which side.
Yeah. We have our duties to fulfill in the South, Octo. We'd love for you to help us out with that. I understand if you know you pulled aside to do things with the North. Like I said, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
We're moving to a different direction. Ranks are going to be stripped. There won't be any captains. There won't be any enforcers. Everything else stays. We're putting people in roles, specific roles, to make sure every branch of the tree is growing. And maybe you have a part to play in that too. With whatever, anything you want to take the reins of. You're a very, very capable man, and we could use you in times of these. You know, use your experience, even your company. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that this time of the year.
Okay.
Maybe you can teach some folks to drive and all that. I feel like that's something we all are terrible at, and maybe that's something
Yeah.
you can get involved in. Take the
Had a
reins of
couple
that.
people approach me with that in mind, just trying to get some tips. I mean, yeah, that could very well, be a little day where I guide a couple people, because yeah, just teaching the basics. I feel like despite a lot of people, they've been driving through the city for years and years, and there's the essentials are still missing for many of them. So just squeezing that into people's brains sometimes is really hard, but I can try.
You can only lead a horse to the water, huh?
Yeah, you could say that. All right. Well, I appreciate the talk.
If you have any
I
other
know.
questions, you let me know, all right? I'm not trying to spin a story. I'm not trying to, wash your brain or anything like that. I'm not trying to tell you
No,
lies. I'm just giving you the story straight as it is, and I know you have to talk to other people.
I have
Yeah,
not
you have
sensed
conversations
any,
pending.
you know, any of that at all. I mean, you've been honest. I can clearly see that, and I appreciate that. That's
Yep.
why you're a good leader. You're real. People respect you, Luch. I think things will be fine.